Some interesting comments from Charlamagne Tha God in the wake of the Supreme Court overturning of Roe versus Wade. He really is one of my favorite commentators, favorite interviewers of politicians, definitely, because he just does not give a single fuck. So here's what he had to say, knocking Democrats for their failures to protect women's rights. He said, and I quote, "What we witnessed on Friday was the cowardice of the Democratic Party catching up to them." He claimed Democrats have known, quote, "what Republicans have been planning for decades because Republicans have never hidden their agenda." Very true. "They have shown and told us what play they are going to run. For some reason, Democrats never crafted a defense to stop them. Yes, it's easy to point the finger at Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell," he said, "but I feel like the cowardice and inaction from Democrats caused a lot of this." And he specifically cited former President Barack Obama, saying that he would codify Roe on the campaign trail, having a supermajority, and doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's just undeniably the case. And to hear someone like Charlamagne say this and hear it echoed, certainly with young protesters, a lot of just regular kind of normie libs waking up to the fact that Democrats have had decades to prepare for what they knew was coming. Barack Obama had the chance to do something about it. Joe Biden had the chance, at least after the leaked draft came out, to prepare some kind of a response, some kind of agenda, some kind of some path forward for Democrats, and absolutely nothing.
No, I think what's interesting is to watch kind of more identitarian, more just non-traditional political constituencies who generally put a lot of faith in the Democratic Party and into the media be like, hold on a second. Wait, you said in 2008 you were going to codify it into law when you actually had the votes, and then you didn't do it. So why didn't you do that? And, Obama has not been. This would be a great question to MSNBC the next time they score their Obama question. Somebody should ask him, like, wait, why didn't you do that while you were in office and you had 60 votes? He'd probably say, well, I only have so much on my plate. The presidency is like a ship. You can only steer it in a couple directions. Obamacare, all of that. How did that work out for you politically? I think these are great questions to ask any of these leaders. Even you could go back as far as, 93? Bill Clinton, I believe, ran on the exact same thing. I don't know about codifying, but Safe, Legal, and Rare came up with that standard and probably had a better chance than anybody at actually passing something in 93 whenever they had control of Congress. That also isn't really something that people really discuss. So there is a political failure and a legacy, all at the time when, like you said, the conservative legal movement has been very open. They're like, we're going to overturn
this is what we're doing.
All
Here's
the way
our
back.
plan. Here's our organization. Yeah. This is the track we're on. Like, it was all
ever
out
since
in the
'92.
open.
They were like, hey, President Bush, you need to appoint somebody who is going to return. Actually, people still in that community despise Anthony Kennedy and President H.W. Bush for putting him on the court because he codified, was it Casey, right? The 1992 case law. He's the one who basically forced things in that direction. They're like, never again. We're not going to do Casey again. So that's when they started putting even more pressure on the presidents and conservative presidents, specifically in order to ramp up their scrutiny for who they were going to appoint to the court. That's why there really hasn't been a quote-unquote squish on the court, at least on Roe versus Wade since then, because of a massive political organizing effort on their part.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're not going to do anything about it, at least don't lie to people and try to fundraise off of it.
That's a good point.
If you're like, there's nothing we can do, and even if you get us reelected, there's not really anything we can do about it, but at least we won't be the Republicans that try to pass a nationwide ban. At least be honest about that. Don't send out these fundraising missives, send us $15, pretending like you've got some freaking plan that you don't, when all you really have is like whatever your cringe poem, Nancy Pelosi, that you're gonna read, and no real plan of action. Don't do that. I do think with this in particular, there is a little bit of an awakening among the sort of core Democratic base that sees so clearly. The perfect example is, here's Pelosi. Oh, she's reading her poem. She's so sad. She's so upset. You literally just dragged an anti-choice lawmaker over the finish line by a few hundred votes. The hypocrisy of that is so in your face that you just can't deny that these people are not serious. That, as Charlamagne says, this is a lot about their cowardice and their inaction that led to this point ultimately. So, you know, he's one who's not afraid to. He had Pete Buttigieg on the show, and he kind of pushed him on some things. Of course, he's the one who
should push him on why the freaking airlines don't work.
He absolutely should.
Yeah.
He also, you know, remember he had that famous moment with Elizabeth Warren where he was like, "Oh, so you're the new Rachel Dolezal."
I love that.
He pushed
You Ain't
Biden, the "You Ain't Black" moment.
Famous.
So
Never
it
forget.
shows you what you can do when you don't care about access, when you aren't in the club. In the same club.
And Kamala
you
going
know?
after her. And she was like, I'm sorry, Charlamagne. We were running out of time. He's like,
I forgot about that.
And he was like, they trying to pretend they don't hear me.
Yeah, that's right. That was a great moment too. So anyway, I think it's an interesting sign of how people are feeling. And the last thing I'll say is Biden won the primary based on electability. He no longer has electability. I mean, he no longer can make the case that if you look at polls, you can no longer make, you got to stick with me, though, no matter how disappointed you are. So I do think it opens up a new avenue of critique and potential challenge to him.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. More for you later. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.